Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Convocation Center, home of your California Vulcans. Today, we'll be seeing the California Vulcans take on the Slippery Rock Rock. John, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing, JJ?
I'm doing amazing. So this weekend is the Breast Cancer Awareness Week for all the volleyball teams, so I'm out here rocking the pink dress shirt as California takes on the Rock.
Yeah, all proceeds from yesterday's game and today's game goes to a Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation, so make sure to, if you're watching him, stop on in, buy a shirt, and come hang out and watch some good volleyball today.
Exactly. I am very excited today. The California Vulcans come into this game 3-9 on the season, and the Rock come in 7-7.
Yeah, California, losers of 6 games in a row, looking for that first win since that opening home tournament a couple of weeks ago. Both teams sitting at the bottom of the PSAC West standings. It's still early on in the season, but both teams still looking for that first conference win here on the young season.
Indeed, both teams out onto the court just figuring out some last-minute adjustments. Both teams looking to help improve their record a little bit and trying, especially for California, to try and climb into the rankings a little bit more. Yeah,
yesterday's game against Seton Hill was a tough one for the Vulcans, a 3-0 straight set sweep for the Griffins, and we saw some flashes from the Vulcans, some good play, especially from Sophia Johnson and Julia Blair, who's out on the court, got some big minutes and had a couple of big-time points and blocks. But it's up for the Vulcans to come in there and get a big win.
Vulcans with the first serve is up and over. The serve was by Favada. Setting to the middle of the court, Droneberger with the kill attempt, which was unsuccessful. Flipped right over the net. Droneberger with the diving effort there. To the outside. Dug out there by the libero for Slippery Rock. And nice block by the Vulcans, but it does go out of bounds. So the first rally will go to the Rock.
Yeah, looking at Slippery Rock's roster, not a single player on their team is taller than 5'11", and that's where the Vulcans are going to have the advantage. Is they have these tall girls in and around the net, getting some big-time blocks.
Serve by the Rock was up and over. Kill attempt to the far side of the court, unsuccessful. Dig to the outside. Tipped at the net by the Vulcans. Vulcans are able to keep the ball in play. The ball is kill out of bounds. That is another point for the Rock.
Yeah, Droneberger that time just trying to find that back corner and just sliced it out of play. Right idea, just not the best of executions.
Erica Selfridge back for the serve for the Rock. Ball's up and over, dug out by the libero for California. Set to the middle of the court. Julia Blair with the kill attempt, which is successful. First point for the California Vulcans.
And that's where the Vulcans had a lot of success yesterday, is in the middle of the court. Her and Johnson, a very, very fierce middle hitter rotation, and we see right there Blair, a 6'3" senior out of Oxford, Michigan, getting the Vulcans on the board.
Kaylin Kasfer back for the serve. Dug out by the libero for the Rock. Set to the close side of the court. Dug out, luckily, by California. Hit to Droneberger. She hits it with the palm of her hand to get it over the net. Set to the outside. Dig there. A little bit of tripping up, but luckily California able to scramble for it as they send a free ball back over to the Rock. Dug out. Set to the middle of the court. Kill attempt. Successful in the middle of backcourt.
Yeah, that time it was Ashlyn Pry. It was a beautiful setup right in the middle, and we saw some great defensive efforts on the back end of the court by Lyndon Felser and Favada for the Vulcans, but that time just couldn't quite recover and get in position.
Libero for the Rock, now back to serve. Ball's up and over, dug out by Droneberger. Dug out once again by Favada. Dug out by the Rock. Set and kill attempt successful going towards Favada.
That time it was Lauren Vonderhaar, one of the taller members of this Rock team, and another straight attack in the middle. That time Blair not able to get over and attempt to block the kill.
Caitlin Roby back for the serve. Kill attempt by Droneberger is just inbounds. Another point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, that time Droneberger, instead of going far side of the court, decided to pull it to the near side and just caught the Rock unaware, and a great execution that time by Allie Droneberger.
California with the serve is up and over. Low dig there by the Rock. Set on the knees, but still is able to keep in play. And there was a violation by the Rock. Another point for the Vulcans.
It was all set up by Mercer's serve. Just that high looping serve, and the Rock had to dive from the back row to try to keep it up.
Ball served up and over, dug out by the Rock. Set in the middle of the court to the far backside. And the kill attempt is just inbounds in the back corner. Point for the Rock.
Yeah, that's just perfect placement. That time from the Rock, it was Danzak with her kill attempt, just able to just place it hard and fast in that back corner.
Serve for the Rock once again. Dug out directly to Favada to Johnson and is out of bounds.
I mean, that was the play that we saw yesterday. It was Morgan Johnson to Sophia Johnson a lot yesterday, but that time Favada set it straight up for Sophia Johnson, but just got too much on it.
Ball up and over Droneberger. Favada back to Droneberger. Droneberger is inbounds this time, point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, we see a lot of give and goes here with the team. Just Droneberger with the dig. Favada gives it right back to her because she has that full head of momentum going straight towards the net. Great kill once again by Ali Droneberger, the leader for the Vulcan team so far this season in kills.
Leads Ruggiero now into the game. Morgan Johnson now back to serve. Ball's up and over, dug out by the libero. Set to the middle, quick attack. California cannot get to it in time.
Yeah, we got to see California putting more emphasis on trying to deny the middle of the court. We've seen the Rock 3 or 4 points now in this game, just kills right from the middle. That time it was Vonderhart once again, just a wide open kill attempt straight at the back line of the Vulcans.
Serve from the Rock is up and over, set by California. Set once again to Droneberger. Droneberger right into the block, and that drops on the Rock side, which is a point for California.
Yeah, and that's where the lack of height for the Slippery Rock is really going to bite them in this game against California. Just both girls over there got up, had a decent attempt at the block, but just not tall enough to send it back over to the California side.
Droneberger with the serve, almost out of bounds, but the Rock decides to play it. Tipped and blocked at the net. Looks like it does go over, but it drops out of bounds, untouched by California. Another point for the Vulcans.
And that's where the height really matters. Sophia Johnson, there's 6'1", just puts her arm straight up in the air and sends it right back.
Ali Droneberger now back for the serve. Ball is up and over, dug out by the Rock. Set to the far side of the court, over, but Johnson able to get to the ball in time. Outside kill attempt is in bounds, tipped at the net, and goes out of bounds, so point Vulcans. Tie game here.
Yeah, that time it was Anna-Marie Petrosevic, just beautiful placement, finding that back corner. I was distracted because someone was giving CPR over on the Vulcan bench over there after that kill.
Play goes out of bounds. The Rock tries to do something with it, but the Vulcans will take their first lead of the game.
Yeah, that's something the Vulcans don't do a whole lot on the season, is get aces, and that time great placement on the serve by Ali Droneberger.
Once again with the serve, Droneberger, but that one does go into the net. Free point for the Rock.
And that's what California really got tripped up in their game yesterday, was just giving free points over to Seton Hill, and it really just bit at the momentum that the Vulcans were building up yesterday, so hopefully they can kind of right those wrongs today.
Ball's up and over, dug up by the libero for California. Johnson gives it over to Ruggiero. Set to the close side of the court, tipped over. Diving effort, but unfortunately California cannot get to the ball in time.
Yeah, and that's how you get around the tall walls of the Vulcans, is just trying to float it over. That time it was Selfrid, just got enough over it, and the back row of the Vulcans couldn't quite run over to dig it out.
Ball's up and out of bounds, untouched by California, so that is a California Vulcans point.
And this is where the Vulcans need to capitalize. Just Slippery Rock giving them free points off of a bad serves. The California now need to go on a roll here, get 2, 3, 4 points in a row, and really push the Rock.
Sophia Johnson now back for the serve. Ball is up and over, low dig there by the Rock. Set to the middle of the court, over, but Droneberger is ready with the hands there. From the outside kill attempt, unsuccessful. The Rock looking to do something with it now. Blocked at the net by Eliza Ruggiero.
Yeah, there is no way anybody for Slippery Rock was going to get that through Ruggiero and Blair. Just absolute massive wall there right at the net. Gives the Vulcans another 1-point lead.
Sophia Johnson once again back for the serve. Up and over, dug out. Really close to the net. Looks like the ball went under the net, and you really can't do that in volleyball.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, and Coach Lokash and the Rock were going to take a timeout. 11-9 the score. Coach Lokash for the Rock in her 40th season in charge of Slippery Rock, as we can take a look at the PSAC West standings here so far on the season. Gannon undefeated, 3-0 in conference play, sitting atop of the PSAC West, followed closely by UPJ, Seton Hill, who we saw yesterday, Clarion, Edinburgh, IUP, and then the two teams in today's game, Slippery Rock and California, at the bottom of the PSAC West. Like I said, very early on, only a couple games played for either team in conference play. Both teams still looking for that first win, and what a better way to get it here. Someone has to win today.
That's true. One of them will get the first win in conference. California 0-3 in conference play, and the Rockies 0-2. So someone's going to have a 1 in that column today.
So statistically, it has to happen unless there's some sort of tie in volleyball, which I don't know about.
I've never seen one. It'd be interesting if the game just never ended. It'd be like back and forth points in the 5th set.
Let's not go saying all that now. But the Vulcans rocking a really tall lineup out here. Like I said, I think Coach Hemrick has really pinpointed where they have the advantage here. You have Johnson, 6'1", Blair, 6'3", Droneberger out there, 6 foot, Anna-Marie Petrosevic, 5'11", Vergaro also out there, 5'9", on the shorter side, but just a ton of big bodies out there for California.
Ball is up and tipped by the net, but it goes over. The Rock looking to do something with over the block, and it goes to the back corner. Sophia Johnson unable to get there in time.
Yeah, I praise Johnson for attempting to dive for that. Great in and around the net, but diving, trying to keep it up in the back row, not one of something that she's asked to do a whole lot of that time. Just a well-placed kill attempt by Erica Selfridge.
The ball served by the Rock goes off the hands awkwardly by Droneberger, but they're able to get it over, but the Rock is ready and comes down with it.
Yeah, that's Selfridge again, leader in kills and points, and that was an easy one. Just a miss hit by Droneberger. The Vulcans able to get it over, and the ball straight into the lap of Selfridge.
Serve once again, but that one goes into the net. Free point for the Vulcans.
And 2 substitutions for the Vulcans, Favada and Muck, will come into the game, and I believe Favada will go back to serve. And again, just the Vulcans keep on top of their rotation, just making sure they are keeping the big bodies out there to try to stifle this Rock offense.
Favada with the service up and over. Set towards the net, sends once again to the far side of the court, and that is another point for the Rock.
And that's Selfridge again. We've seen her moved all around the court for the Rock so far. I had the last couple of points for Slippery Rock on the near side, and that time switched over onto the far side and just able to get another nice kill attempt for the Rock.
Ball served up and over, dug out by Libero for California. Set to the far side. Blair with the kill attempt. It was tipped at the net, I believe, and yes, it was. That is a point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, she got up there and was up there for a while, too. Just waited a little bit in the air to make the strike and got a decent piece of contact on it, took a hit on the way through, and the Vulcans will take that point every day of the week.
Luckily, with her being 6'3", she doesn't have to jump that high to get to the ball. Set to the middle of the court, kill attempt successful, just in the very middle of the court. No Vulcan was in sight.
Yeah, that time it was just another great setup. Ashlyn Pry on the kill attempt, just the ball set straight up in the air, just a good height for her just to come down and strike it, and nobody in the back row ready for the Vulcans.
Ball up and out of bounds. That is a free point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, great heads-up awareness that time by Caroline Mercer, the libero for the Vulcans, just tracking the flight of that ball and just being smart enough to step out of the way and let that one fly out of play.
Ball's up and over, dug out towards the net, but it goes into the net and drops down. Another point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times with Mercer back to serve, just getting an awkward hit on it, and nobody for the Rock has been able to track it in the air, and another ace for the Vulcans.
Set to the far side of the court. Over the block, but Favada able to get to the ball in time. Ball goes to Droneberger. Droneberger hits it out of bounds. Point for the Rock.
I think Droneberger just got too cute with her there. That time she really had all the time in the world, but that time just mishit it, just sliced it out of bounds.
Ball served by the Rock is into the net. Another free point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, and if you're Slippery Rock and you lose this set, you got to be just so mad at yourselves. That's 3 or 4 points now in this set, given over to California just from bad serve straight into the net.
And that's not just in game. I've even seen it during the pregame with Slippery Rock doing that. Just kill attempts into the net.
Maybe just shaking off that rust. It's about a 2-hour bus drive here down 79 here for the Rock.
Over the block, but the libero for California scrambling a little bit now. Setting to the close side of the court, kill attempt, unsuccessful, dugout there by California. Droneberger to the far side of the court, but it goes too far once again.
Yeah, that time we saw Droneberger on the last kill attempt slice it on the near side, so tried to go far side of the court for her, but that time just too much on it. Great heads-up play that time by Alejandro Beery, the libero for the Rock, by just stepping out of the way and letting that one sail out of play.
Ball served is up and over, dugout by Droneberger. Kill attempt, but Johnson was there. Tipped over by Ruggiero. Setting to the close side of the court now, over. California able to do something with it as Ruggiero is completely denied at the net by Slippery Rock.
Yeah, and that time Ruggiero looked like she just ran it a bit, was reaching back, just couldn't get quite a clean of a strike as she would have liked on it. And it was Vonderhaar again in the middle, just sending that one back and tying things up here between Cal and Slippery Rock.
Ball is served up and over, dugout by Kay Linkisfer. Set to the far close side of the court, by went over by Johnson. Kill attempt going to the back side of the court. California ready for it. Going to the far side of the court for California. Slippery Rock now scrambling. They are able to get to it, and it is back over, but it goes out of bounds. Point California.
That is just so unfortunate. It was Erica Selfridge running all the way across the court and diving just to keep it up, and after all of that, all of her hard work, it's just gonna show up as a California point at the end of the day.
Courtney Smith now back to serve. To the middle of the court once again. California was ready for it. To Ruggiero on the outside, and that is a point for the Vulcans.
And that time, Ruggiero didn't overrun it. Just beautiful setup by Johnson. Ruggiero full head of steam, and when she gets a good connection on it, you know it, and that was a beautifully placed kill.
Smith once again for the serve. Low dig there by libero. Weird little angle, but somehow stays in play. And once again, that is another point by Marie Pachevic.
Yeah, and Coach Lokash and the Rock are going to take their second timeout. And we've seen it a couple of times in this first set. Just the Rock have not been able to deal with California's serve so far. A couple of times California served the ball over, and the Rock hit the ball, and they're scrambling. Everyone's running after it. Nobody's able to keep it up, or if they do, it's going floating right above the net for the Vulcans to kill.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of mistakes from the California team so far. The Rock, a little bit just getting it over the net is the biggest issue for them. I've seen it at the net. I've even seen it from the serve. So the Rock looking to definitely clean that up within this set or going into the second set.
Yeah, again, if you're Slippery Rock, you are just kicking yourselves because so far in this set, a lot of California has a 3-point lead, but there's been about 8 or 9 points that California has gotten where it's just self-inflicted injuries. You're just shooting yourself in the foot. It serves into the net, not being able to dig out properly the serves from California, just giving free points over to the Vulcans. And if you're California, you'll take that. You're causing these mistakes, and you need to capitalize on them. And the Vulcans have done a great job of that so far with a 3-point lead here at nearing towards the end of this first set.
Smith once again to serve. Ball's up and over, dugout by the Rock to the outside, and it goes off the hands of Courtney Smith, out of bounds. Point for the Rock. Yeah,
and Smith that time just probably should have just gotten out of the way. It looked like the way the ball was flying, it was just going to end up out of bounds for a California point, but just stuck her hands out there very late. California able to get to the ball, and it goes over the net somehow. A little scrambling there to the middle of the court. Now looks like it's going to be a free ball by Ruggiero back over the net. Dugout set up to the middle of the court, and that is exactly where they target for the Vulcans, in the middle of the court. Yeah, and when you're California there, that's 2 balls over in a row where you're scrambling just to get it over, and 3 in that time. The Rock were set up ready for it, and California just couldn't get back on defense in time. Dugout there by California. Johnson to the backside of the court, off the hands of Sleeper Rock and out of bounds. Point for the Vulcans. Yeah, we saw that so much yesterday, and that's where the Vulcans really looked great, was the Johnson and Johnson link up in the middle. Morgan Johnson setting up for Sophia, and Sophia the leader in points on this team, 122 coming into today's game.
Ball is up and over dugout. Low dig awkwardly. And it gets over the net. Sophia Johnson able to kiss the ball in time. Set up to the outside. Kill attempt was blocked at the net. That is a point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, Chelsea Wheeler, that time the senior from Youngstown, Ohio. Anne-Marie Petrosevic was gearing up for it, but just a great flash of the hands, able to just send that one back. Still a 1-point game. Both teams just going back and forth here in this first set.
Ball served by Slippery Rock up and over dugout there by California, setting to the far side to Anne-Marie Petrovic, but it is dug out by the libero. Kill attempt. Unsuccessful as it goes out of bounds. Point for the Vulcans.
Selfridge, that's another effort this game. We saw that diving effort a couple minutes ago that ended up at a Vulcan point, and that's a kill attempt where you're maybe an inch or two off from that being a point, and she smoked that thing and just missed the back line of the court.
Ball is served by Favada. Set to the middle of the court. Tipped, but unsuccessful there by California to get it back over the net. Another point for the Rock.
And that time Selfridge got what she thought she deserved the last point. That time didn't miss it. Sent it straight into Mercer, and there's not really a whole lot Mercer can do about that one. Just a rocket straight into her chest.
Ball served up and over, set by California. Favada gives it over to Marie Perchevic, but it goes off the hands towards the bench. But the Rock is able to do something with it. Free ball towards California, dug up by libero. Favada gives it to Smith, and the ball goes out of bounds untouched.
Yeah, just some awkward team movement that time. Favada and Smith were kind of just all like right on top of each other as Coach Emmerich takes a timeout. They were just both standing, occupying the same space, and that meant Smith couldn't really get a clean run on it and just put too much on that kill attempt and set it out of play.
Tied up here towards the end of the first set, 21-21. Very back and forth. California did have a nice little lead, but the Rock was able to cut into it enough to tie up the game here towards the end of the set. A lot of back and forth. If you were one of the coaches, what would you be saying to the team?
I mean, if you're California, you need to win a serve back because you've seen so far that Slippery Rock hasn't been able to deal with your serves at all, and that's where you need to capitalize. But if you're Slippery Rock, I think you just need to kind of just wake up a little bit. They've seemed like once they get going a little bit, they've been able to kind of dominate on the offensive side, but they've kind of just shot themselves in the foot. Like I said earlier, they've really inflicted a ton of their own problems in this first set, not dealing with the serves, just sending their own serve straight into the net, giving free points over to California. But if they're able to kind of just put up and shut up California, they'll be all good.
Out of the timeout, the Rock has to serve. The ball is up and over. Dug out by California. Favada trying to get the ball back into a nice place as Smith sends it back over towards the libero for the Rock. Setting to the close side of the court. Kill attempt was completely blocked, but it goes out of bounds, untouched by the Slippery Rock, so they get the point on that one.
And again, another offensive possession that for the Vulcans that starts with a bad dig off a serve. That time Petrosevic just sent it up, and it was a free ball over, and the Rock were able to set up nicely.
Up and over, dug out by California. Setting to Blair. Blair with a nice kill attempt there. California gets another point.
And we saw them utilize this height early on in the set. The first couple of points California able to get, they really utilized Blair in the middle. But they've gone away from her, but once again, calling her number, dialing up. Nice set by Favada and a nice kill by Blair.
Ball's up and over, and it is a service ace for California.
And again, it's just something that the Rock hasn't been able to deal with. It's these serves by the Vulcans. It's not. I don't know if they're doing anything special, but the Slippery Rock can't deal with it.
Set close, but that is another attack. Looks like the ball keeps hitting the same spot every single time they go for the middle of the court.
And I'm not sure if that's an issue that Coach Emmerich has. Lindenfelser with the serve was a little bit late to get back onto the court, and that time it was right to where she wasn't.
Serve by the liberos up and over, dug out by California's libero. Set, and then Blair hits it out of bounds. Slippery Rock now on set point.
Yeah, that set a little bit high from Favada, which is not something you would normally see with Blair, but just couldn't quite pull the trigger on it the way that she would have wanted. And Coach Emmerich, with Slippery Rock on set point, is going to take California's second timeout.
California going into this timeout, really looking, they need to string some points along if they want a chance at taking this first set. Of course, first to 25, win by 2. So if they can even match Slippery Rock's 24th, that would be tremendous for them.
Yeah, it's been a tough go at it so far early on in the season for Coach Emmerich. He said in her first season in charge here at California. But we've seen some glimpses, of some really dominant play by the Vulcans. We've seen them really, especially on the defensive side, put in a ton of effort, diving for balls, keeping rallies going with some great play on the defensive side. But they really need to button up on the offensive side of things here. But Slippery Rock, even after giving up a ton of points from your own self-inflicted wounds in this first set, on the verge of taking set number 1.
Out of the timeout, Slippery Rock will have the serve, trying to put this set away. And here we go. Ball is up and over, dug out by California. Set by Favada to the outside, tipped, but Slippery Rock able to keep the ball in play. Going tipped over the block, but California has it once again. Tipped into the net, and that will be the set. Slippery Rock takes the first set 25-23 over the California Vulcans. And we'll be right back here on CTV Sports 1 and the PSA Digital Network.
More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in the league's 23 championship sports. 17 member campuses, educating more than 110,000 students, with an alumni base that tops the 1 million mark. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, making the PSAC proud.
Vulcan football is back and ready to take on the best the PSAC has to offer this fall. After road games at Charleston, Westchester, and Lock Haven, the Vulcans return to Adamson Stadium for the home opener on September 28th. Save the date for October 19th and homecoming versus Slippery Rock. The Coal Bowl comes to Adamson Stadium on October 26th versus IUP. The home schedule concludes with back-to-back games on November 9th versus Edinburgh and Senior Day November 16th versus Shippensburg. For up-to-date information on the Vulcans, follow Cal Vulcans on social media or go to calvulcans.com. For live games and highlights, go to CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube or the PSAC Digital Network.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center, home of the California Vulcans. We'd like to remind everyone, as I see the score on the screen now, that it is pink because it is the Dig Pink event here for most of the conference. Of course, all volleyball teams around the PSAC trying to raise money for breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, all proceeds from yesterday's and today's games for the Vulcans go to the Side Out Foundation, which is a foundation in support of breast cancer survivors. So any and all support is welcome as we continue to battle and help support people around the world battling breast cancer.
California already back out onto the team with a little bit more than 15 seconds left. Slippery Rock taking every last second to talk over their game plan, as here they are about to break the huddle. Last minute high five, a little hype up from both teams. Crazy high five there.
Yeah, there was a decent leap on that one. But I believe it'll be Slippery Rock's serve to start this set. Both teams switch sides. Both teams, I believe, ready to go. Jaden Yost, the junior from Springfield, Ohio, back to serve here for the Rock.
The serve is up and over, set by California. Favada to the outside. Blair going towards the back side of the court, but unfortunately unable to get it down. And a nice block there, but it does go out of bounds. That was a loud hit right there.
Yeah, the Rock got a big swing on it, and Blair and Ruggiero were right there to meet it, but couldn't quite steer that one back in play.
Rock once again with the serve up and over. Diving dig there. Looks like California had a chance to get to it, but Ruggiero thought it hit the ground before they called the point, so there's another free point for the Rock.
Yeah, Yost took a lot off of that serve, and Mercer dove for him, but well placed by Yost.
Ball up and into the net, like we talked about before. It's a lot of serves, a lot of errors into the net, giving California free points.
And if you're the Vulcans, you'll take it. Just you don't want the Rock to go on any sort of run, and this is where you need to capitalize on it. Get a couple points in a row here.
Ball up and over, dugout there by the Rock. Setting to the far side of the court. Kill attempt completely blocked, but once again out of bounds off the hands of Blair.
Yeah, that's the second one this set where we've seen Ruggiero and Blair get up nice and early, but that time they just can't steer it back towards the field of play.
Ball serve once again up and over, set by California to the outside. Ruggiero going for the close side of the court, unsuccessful. But this time off the hands of Blair, it is a California point.
And they've made the adjustment. That's the third time in this set we've seen Ruggiero and Blair get up there to attempt the block, and that time Blair able to just curb it back towards the court, send it right back, California point.
Dugout there by the libero. Kill attempt unsuccessful as the block this time coming from Eliza Ruggiero.
Yeah, California, they've fixed it after those first two blocks. That time Ruggiero on the outside sent it back towards the middle of the court, and the Rock was scrambling.
Served by California up and over, dugout. Set to the far side, trying to keep the ball in play, and the ball is just in bounds. Nice call there by the official.
Yeah, great placement there by Chevalier. Just the kill attempt towards the back corner. California thought it went out, but just enough on it where it stayed in play.
Ball served by the Rock is up and out of bounds. Free point once again by the Vulcans.
Yeah, that time Smith and Petrusevic both looking at each other, and then they're both deciding just to pull away at the last second and let that one fall out of play. Another serving error on the side of the Rock.
I swear that ball looked like it was just floating there for a little bit, how slowly it came out of bounds. Nevertheless, it does go out of bounds, so California will have the serve. Dugout there by the Rock. Flip back over directly to California. Coming towards the close side of the court, blocked, but California, Droneberger able to keep the ball in play. To Johnson. Unsuccessful attempt there. Close side of the court now. Tipped at the net. A little bit of scrambling is going to be a point for the Rock. I thought that would be a California point for sure. Excuse me. Yes. Flipper Rock point.
Yeah, that time just a couple of great blocks, but great defensive efforts by the Rock to keep it up. And it was Chevalier again just placing it where nobody on the California Vulcan side was.
Low dig there by California. Johnson sends it to the outside. Tipped over. Dugout there by Slippery Rock to the outside once again. Going around the block this time. Another point for Slippery Rock.
And Chevalier again, another beautifully placed kill attempt. That time it was Petrusevic just pulled away. I thought it was going to go out, but just fell on the right side of the line.
Up and over, dugout there by California. Set to Johnson, and it goes directly back over off the hands of the Rock. To Droneberger towards the back of the court, unsuccessful there. Tipped over the block, diving effort there by California, unsuccessful.
I mean, that's 4 points in a row for Chevalier. Another kill attempt. That time changing it up, not going for straight power, went for the finesse and just floated that one over the wall of California. And nobody in the backside for the Vulcans was there and ready for it.
Dug out by California, set to Johnson once again. Kill attempt unsuccessful, high into the air, set to the close side of the court now. And that looked like the ball just curved midair, little curveball on that, but that is another point for Slippery Rock.
And that time it was Selfridge just caught it on the right speed, maybe hit it off of like the air valve in the bottom of it. Like you said, it seemed like it just started to bend in the air, and it was so hard, and then it just took the sting out of it, and it was able to find that backside of the court.
Ball up and over. That could have gone out of bounds, but California plays it instead. Droneberger with a side hit there, going to the far side of the court now, and it is a nice block. That block lands on the side of California, giving Slippery Rock another point.
And it was Selfridge again. We've seen Droneberger kind of mixed up in this set where we've seen her mainly on the outside, but had the kill attempt in the middle that time. But the Rock were able to recover, and Droneberger and Johnson were just not able to get over in time and just couldn't send the block back over to Slippery Rock's side. And the Rock on a huge run. So we can take a look at the PSAC West standings once again here. Gannon sitting up top. He's followed closely by UPJ and Seton Hill, who are off to great starts to this season. UPJ 14-1 on the season. Seton Hill 13-2. Following them is Clarion, Edinburgh, IUP, Slippery Rock, and California. So both teams in this game, like we mentioned earlier, still looking for that first win in conference play on the season.
Both teams in the timeout. California definitely looking to make some major adjustments here as they are down by 5 points early in the second set. Of course, losing 4-9 against the Slippery Rock. Both teams now coming out of their huddles onto the court now with a little over 7 seconds left to go.
Yeah, it was a stretch. Callie Chevalier, the 5'11 outside hitter, the junior from Charlton, New York, really did a number on the Vulcans, had 4 or 5 points in a row for the Rock.
Ball up and over, dug out by California. Johnson to Anna Marie Projevic, and that is a point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, great set that time by Morgan Johnson and Anna Marie Petrosevic. Just great placement, split the uprights between the two back row players for the Rock, and in the libero, and Chevalier just both in the back row. Great placement by Anna Marie Petrosevic.
Smith now back into the game for the Vulcans. Ball served by Lancashire. Set to the outside. A little bit of a weird set there. Scrambling by California, get the ball back over. Tipped at the net, but that does hit the ground. Another point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, that time the Rock were just scrambling all around the court, and great play by Smith to just steer the ball in the direction where nobody on the Rock was on the court.
Ball up and over, dug out there by the Rock, setting to the far side of the court. Kill attempt off the hands of the block, but California able to keep the ball in play as it goes over. Set to the far side of the court now, tipped over, and it goes just inbounds. Looked like it could have even been on the line, but nevertheless, that is a point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, Chevalier, again, really just beautiful executions on these kill attempts. We've seen her do it all in all sorts of manners. That time it was just well placed in that back corner.
Slippery Rock once again with the serve. Up and over, dug out there by the libero for California, setting to the outside to Smith. Smith's hit is out of bounds.
Yeah, great awareness by Alejandro Beery, just the libero in the back corner, just moving out of the way that time for the Rock.
Service up and over, dug out by the libero for California. Setting to the far side of the court. Droneberger's hit high, but the Rock decides to play it. Ooh, a little bit of back and forth right there at the net, but California able to get the ball once again over to Slippery Rock. Setting to the far side of the court now. Dig there towards the bench. Another point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, great attempt by Lindenfelser to try to keep it up, but once again, just some well-placed kill attempts by the Rock, and the defensive side for the Vulcans, they're just scrambling to try to keep it up.
Serve once again by Slippery Rock. Ball's up and over. Awkward dig there, but California able to somehow get that back over the net. Kill attempt towards the libero for California. Not the one person you want to be hitting towards, but Sophia Johnson's kill attempt goes into the net.
Yeah, California off of that serve just couldn't get set, and it was just a matter of time before the Rock were able to finish that off. That time it was Vonderhaar again in the middle.
Slippery Rock serve is up and over, dug out by California. Set to the far side of the court to Droneberger. Droneberger's kill is unsuccessful. Set to the middle. Weird, awkward hit there, but it does go over nevertheless. Smith's kill attempt is into the block of Slippery Rock, and that does land on California's side, which is a point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, that time the set by Johnson just took Smith way too close to the pole on the near side, and the Rock used that as another defender in the wall just set up, made it impossible for Courtney Smith to send that one over.
Not a lot of height on the Slippery Rock team, but they got some hops. They can get up there to block some balls. Serve up and over. Looked like a little bit of miscommunication who's going to get the ball there on California's side. Directly back over, but that lands on the side of Slippery Rock, and that is a point, California.
Yeah, that time just too strong of a dig by Cara Pascal in the back and sent straight to Johnson waiting at the net, just making sure that it was going to be a California point. The Rock doubling the Vulcans here. California need to get going.
Sophia Johnson serve is up and over, set to the far side of the court, into a block by Julia Blair and Elizabeth Planenta.
Yeah, just great placement that time, but between Blair and Patina, just able to get up at the wall and send that one back over. Kind of a momentum play that you need here if you're the Vulcans to get back in this one.
Tipped at the net, but doesn't go over. Kill! Oh my God, that looked like that went into her face. I hope she is okay.
Yeah, just a ferocious kill attempt that time by Vonderhaar. Lyndon Felser took that one off the chin, and hey, she's staying in the game, so big ups to her. That one would have knocked me out. I think that
scared me there for a second. Set by California. Kill attempt by Blair. Successful. She's tall and she's got some hops. So easy point there for California.
Yeah, Blair just saying if Slippery Rock can do it, then I can do it too. Just we've seen Slippery Rock do that time and time again, just to sit up straight into the middle, finding placement in the back part of the court. That time, bread and butter, just straight up Blair able to find her mark.
Adriana Favada now back for the serve. Low dig there by the Rock. Set to the close side of the court. Dug out there by Kay Linkisfer. Over to Ruggiero. Ruggiero gets another point. Point, California.
Yeah, that time just a misplay by Brooke Farah. Looked like it was going to go out of play, but didn't want to take any chances. Thought it was going to find that back corner. Decided to play it, but just couldn't get the right hit on it.
Favada's serve is up and over. Dug out there by Slippery Rock. Kill attempt unsuccessful as it goes off the hands of California, but that does still end up in a point for the Rock as it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that time the kill attempt by Farah, real strong, was able to split through the wall of Ruggiero and Blair and straight into Caroline Mercer. And once again, that's not really a whole lot Mercer can do about that one.
Ball's up and over, dug out there by California, set to the close side of the court. Ruggiero attacking libero, unsuccessful, but Julia Blair with another point.
Again, that's where there's somebody getting revived on Summer Lux for the Vulcans, getting revived on the bench. And that's about as easy of a kill if you would like if you're Julia Blair, just the ball floating in and around the net. When you're taller than everyone else, you can just send that one down.
Ball's up and over, dug out there by Slippery Rock, set to the close side of the court. Tipped and right over the block. Slippery Rock knowing that anything low and close to that net is going to get denied, so they go for the soft hit over the net. It lands just behind the California block.
And that's how you circumnavigate the California walls. You just float that one over, and nobody in the back row was ready for that time for the Vulcans.
Set to Blair once again. Unsuccessful kill attempt there as it gets blocked. But Marie Petrovic sends it to the backside of the court, setting to the middle now. Over once again, just floating it over all the blocks of California. Slippery Rock found their key to winning this set so far, as they are winning 18-11.
Yeah, just staying away from Blair, just making sure that she can't get involved, and you do that by just floating it over top of her.
Ball served up and over, low dig there by California to Ruggiero, but that one gets completely denied at the net. Point once again for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, Ashlyn Pry Ruggiero cocked back for, and Ashlyn Pry was right there to send that one back, and California takes their second timeout, 11-19. The Rock with the lead, and it's been all Slippery Rock in this set. They've really cleaned it up, especially when California's gotten the serve. They haven't had as many mistakes. digging it out, and they haven't really sent that many serves of their own into the net to give California the points. They've really got a stranglehold on this game so far.
They really do. Slippery Rock, the largest lead by any team throughout both sets so far. Of course, the lead by 8. California needing to change something. There's been a lot of stuff that they can definitely fix, especially with Slippery Rock attacking just right behind all the blocks. Slippery Rock, as you saw, changed up their attack, especially once Julia Blair is close to the net, just going right over her instead of into her.
Yeah, so I think if you're Coach Emmerich and you have Julia Blair out there, you're telling your back row, you guys have to play up because Slippery Rock's just going to try to float it over top of her and land it right in that space in between the front row and the back row. So you need your back row to play up in support of Julia Blair because she's the tallest one on the court by far, like we keep saying. Sound like a broken record. We just keep mentioning it over and over and over again. She's 6'3". She's absolutely massive out there. Has long arms too. Can really disrupt this Rock attack, but Slippery Rock have found a way to get around it.
Ball served by the Rock, up and over, dug out by the libero. Directly back over by Favada. Awkward hit there, but they are able to get it directly back over to California. Favada sets it to Anna Marie Petrovic. Not blocked, directly to the back row point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, cheeky play by Favada faking the set, and that point doesn't happen without Jaden Yost. Just great diving effort to keep it up. And like I said, that time the kill attempt by the Rock able to just split the wall of California and able to find its home. The Rock up by 9.
Ball served up and looked like she tried to do a one-hand catch. This is not what you're supposed to do. So that is a point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, Taylor Pascoe that time caught between two minds. Thought about letting it go, but realized it was going to stay in place. So at the last second, stuck her hand out, and the Rock ballooning to a 10-point lead now.
Ball served into the net. Another one of those little mistakes. There's been a lot less in this set there compared to the last set, but nevertheless, another one there. So that is a free point for the Vulcans.
And like we keep mentioning, if you're California, this is where you have to capitalize. You need to go on a run now.
Served up and over, dug towards the net. Far side now. Block attempt successful, but Slippery Rock able to keep the ball in play. Setting to the middle of the court. Ruggiero right off the hands, and that goes out of bounds. Nice point for Ruggiero.
Yeah, great movement by Ruggiero there, getting the block on the far side and then moving into the middle, and Favada able to find her. And like we said, when she's able to get a connection on it, there's nothing anybody can do to stop it.
Close side of the court now, tipped at the net, but California able to keep the ball in play. Favada sends the ball to Marie Petrovic. And that just off the hands and drops out of bounds. That's a point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, the ball. Favada's got the keys here for the Vulcans. Her sets have been on point so far. The last couple of points is really being able to set up the Vulcans on either side of the court, really just facilitating this Vulcan offense. That time, Anna Marie Petrosevic able to get a good enough hit on her that the wall unable to block.
Set to the close side of the court, tipped. This time California is playing up a little bit more over the blocks. Ball hit by Ruggiero, goes flying towards out of bounds, but they're able to keep it in play. Favada sends to Johnson. Johnson towards the back row, but they are ready for it. And here we go for another block attempt, but once again playing up. Favada to Marie Petrovic, and that is in the back corner. That is a point for the Vulcans.
And we've seen that adjustment. We see Slippery Rock just trying to go over the California wall as Coach Lokash will take a timeout. But we've seen it. Coach Emmerich made the adjustment. She has that back row for California moving up in support. So if the Rock decide to just float it over top of the wall, it's not going to be a free point for Slippery Rock. It's good. The Vulcans are right there to clean it up, and Favada with another beautiful set. Anna Marie Petrosevic, just beautiful placement, finding that back corner, cutting it down to 6, and the Vulcans have gone on the run they needed to. They
have California looking to continue this run, down by 6 now compared to the 9 they are at at the last timeout. Slippery Rock wanting to lock things up a little bit and just try and get out of this set to the third to try and go on a little bit of a streak here. California now breaking their huddle, ready to come back out onto the court. Slippery Rock taking a couple more seconds, and as they break their huddle now.
Yeah, I believe Gary and I talked about it last week in the game against Walsh. This is the all-important set. The second set really determines how this game is going to go, because if you're Slippery Rock, if you win the set, you're on game point. You're there ready to win. But if you're California, if you win this set, you tie things up here, you put yourself in a great spot to not only have a chance in this game, but also get some momentum after coming back.
Ball up and over, set up to outside. Kill attempt off the arms of Sophia Johnson, dropping on their side as a point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, that time Johnson and Anna Marie Petrosevic just got up a little bit too early, and Chevalier caught them on the way down and was able to steer that one into the California side of the court.
Ball up and over, dug out by California. Ball goes to Marie Petrovic, and it goes towards the back, but they are ready for it. It's towards the far side of the court now, off the hands of Ruggiero. Ruggiero hits it right back over, but Slippery Rock is ready. Close side of the court, and no one is there for it. California gives up another point to the Rock.
That time, Jaden Yost, just great placement. Elizabeth Patina in the back row dove for it, but just too far out of the reach for her.
Ball's up and tipped by the net, but it goes over. California player running into the net, but she stays up luckily to the far side, and that is a nice slider little there by the libero, and that is a point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, at that point saw Caroline Mercer slid like a gold glove shortstop to her right, just keeping that ball in the air and set it up for Anna Marie Petrosevic. Was able to just split the wall, just got enough of a tip on it to steer it out of the direction for the Rock, and that point doesn't happen without the great defensive effort of Caroline Mercer.
Ball served is up and over, dugout there towards the net. Over the net now, California once again playing up compared to they have been in the past. Tipped at the net by the Rock, setting it to the far side now, going towards the back. California able to get to the ball in time, setting it to the close side of the court now towards the far corner. Set to the middle, off the block of Johnson. Point, Slippery Rock. They are now on set point.
Yeah, that's just a tough break for Johnson. Not really a whole lot she can do about that. Just a ton of space in the middle for Von der Haar to roam, and was able to just get enough of a head on it.
Ball up and over, dugout there by California, almost into the net there. And that is not a point there, so we will continue this rally to tip by Johnson over the net. Diving, a little bit of diving by everyone on the Slippery Rock side. Set, and kill attempt by Johnson is blocked. Ball over, dugout by California. Set, once again. Marie Perchevic is completely blocked, but that goes out of bounds. That is a point, Vulcans.
Yeah, and that's the struggle. Some beautiful defensive efforts by everybody on the side of Slippery Rock, but once you are all diving, sliding around, it's really hard to get back in position and ready for it. And that time, Anna Marie Petrosevic got a nice hit on it, and the block attempt by the Rock was too much and out of play. The Rock, California have to be perfect from here on out.
Dug low there by Slippery Rock, set up and tipped, but California decides to play it, and they go to the close side of the court, and that goes towards the far back side, setting it to the far side of the court now, and that is a point, Slippery Rock. Slippery Rock will take the second set here, 25-17 over the California Vulcans. We'll be right back here on CETV Sports 1 and the PSAC Sports Network.
A new era in Vulcan volleyball starts this fall as new head coach Audrey Emmerich leads her team for the 2024 season. Get your first look at the squad when they host the Vulcan Invitational on the weekend of September 13th and 14th. Following a non-conference game versus Walsh on September 26th, the PSAC schedule kicks into high gear with familiar foes such as Edinburgh, Seton Hill, Slippery Rock, and IUP. For up-to-date schedules and more, follow Cal Vulcans on social media and get live games and highlights at CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube and the PSAC Digital Network.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
Hello and welcome back to the Convocation Center, home of your California Vulcans. It's me and John Zape here. So we got the last couple of sets. Slippery Rock looking to close out and sweep the Vulcans at home tonight. So hopefully California can pull something out and force a 4th and 5th set tonight.
Yeah, we saw California start to pick it up at the end of that second set, but it was a case of too little, too late. We saw Coach Emmerich take that timeout, but they were already down by 7-8 points at that point to make the adjustment, to make some key adjustments. But like we said, it was just they were already just down by so much. It was going to be a really tall task for the Vulcans to try to come back into that one. But just a dominant display in set number 2 by the Rock. Now looking to just close things out here and enjoy a nice weekend.
Maybe catch some college football.
Or catch any of the sports. I know the Vulcans today, action-packed all across the campus. I believe a couple soccer games, baseball scrimmages starting as well, football starting right now, tennis, track, you name it. It's probably happening here today for California.
I knew Nate Kurtz, our good friend, was talking about going up to see the soccer game, especially as, photographer. He probably for sure wouldn't hit that later.
Yeah, shout out Nate Kurtz, my GOAT, my personal GOAT. Forget Jordan, forget LeBron. I got Nate Kurtz.
Adriana Favada for your California Vulcans now back to serve. Dug out there by Slippery Rock, set to the far side. Kill attempt over the block. But California able to keep the ball in play as Ruggiero goes to the back side of the court, but they are able to keep their hands on it there. Towards the far side, Favada gets one hand on it. Dronberg cannot get to it in time. That is the first point going to Slippery Rock.
Yeah, and once again, Favada that time just indecisive. Thought about letting it out, decided at the last second to stick a hand out there, and when you do that, you don't have a ton of control on it, and just sent that one to a place where Dronberger couldn't really reach it.
Up and over, dug out there. Set to the middle of the court. California was blocked there, but they get the ball right back as Sophia Johnson is targeting the backside of the court as she's been all game. Nice dig there by the libero for California, setting it to the far side to Anna Marie Pachevic. Close side kill attempt once again towards the libero for California. Ruggiero going high this time, and it goes out of bounds, but Slippery Rock able to keep it in play. Nice dig there by California, sending it to the far side of the court now. Into the net, but it goes over, which means Slippery Rock has to play it. Over, dig there. California scrambling to get to it in time, and they do. That'll be a free ball back over towards Slippery Rock. Set directly back over to California. Set, kill attempt by Johnson off the arms of the libero. Ruggiero attacking the middle of the court, and there we go. Very long set there. I'd be exhausted after that one. But California gets the first point of the set.
Again, a 5 out of 5 performance by Caroline Mercer there, the libero for the Vulcans. I think I counted 6 or 7 digs alone in that one rally, just keeping it up, just keeping the Vulcans with a chance. Ruggiero finishing it off.
Set to the middle of the court. Kill attempt successful there. Point Slippery Rock.
And that time, the Vulcans off of the serve just the back row just didn't move up in time. Pry with a wide open hit right in the middle of the court.
Ball served into the nets by the libero for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, that was not a good serve. I don't know how else to put it. It just mishit. That one wasn't even remotely close to going over. It's a bit harsh.
It's closer to going under than over.
It was, and just a mishit by Alejandra Beery.
Sophia Johnson now back for the serve. High up and out of bounds.
And if you're California, you can't really afford to make those types of mistakes. So far, you're down 2-0. If you want to come back, you need to start cleaning it up here.
Ball served, tipped by the net, but it goes over. Set by Favada to Ruggiero off the block, and that is the far back side of the court. Another point for Slippery Rock.
And that's where sending your back row up in support is a problem, is when you have the long balls go over like that, your back row is out of position, and that time Lindenfelser just couldn't get there.
Set by Favada to Droneberger. Droneberger attacking the far side of the corner, and it gets hit by the Slippery Rock defender and goes directly down. That is a point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, Droneberger just shot that one straight at Danzak, and Danzak looked at her bench and just shrugged, like, what am I supposed to do about that one? And just can't really do anything about it.
California now back to serve Ashlyn Brickover. I believe it's her first appearance of this game. Ball is served up and over dugout by Slippery Rock. Brickover sends it to the close side of the court. Slippery Rock able to do something with it there as they get off the block. Brickover diving attempt by two Vulcans, and they are able to keep the ball in play. Set to the close side of the court, and the libero for California able to keep it in bounds. Ali Droneberger killing attempt for the back side of the court, unsuccessful. As that goes through a block, I'm pretty sure I saw her hand bend backwards there on that block attempt, but that is a point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, once again, the Vulcans with great defensive efforts, but when you have players diving around like that, it's really hard for everyone to get back in position, and it was Chevalier with a great hard hit and just sends that one off of Lindenfelser's hands out of play.
Ball served up and over dugout by Droneberger. Set. Once back to Droneberger and blocked, but Brickover sets it to the close side of the court over the block, but the Slippery Rock was able to get to there in time. Blocked at the net, and that's a point for your California Vulcans.
Yeah, Lexi Muck, Droneberger's all over her that time. Lexi Muck just able to send that one back, and the kill attempt from Slippery Rock, the player just wasn't aware and just right back into her, off of her, and out of play.
Droneberger with the serve is up and over dugout there by Slippery Rock. Tipped at the net. Looked like every California player was trying to get to that one, but no one does. Another point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, it looked like those. You see those videos when in a bowling alley when someone gets a strike and all the pins just somehow magically fall over. Just placed right in the middle of all six of the Vulcans on the court, and nobody could get to it.
Set by Brickover to the outside. Kill attempt is successful by California. Point Vulcans.
Yeah, and we've seen Anna Marie Petrosevic really get going in this game, and sometimes if you're a team, you just got to feed the hot hand. You really need to start setting her up anywhere that you can find her. Just make sure that she is the one with the kill attempt because she's been lights out.
Set to the far side of the court, middle of the court, but that does go out of bounds. California is now tied up here in the third set.
Yeah, matter of inches that time, as it was Selfridge going for that back corner, just missed.
Dug out there by Slippery Rock to the far side. Nice diving effort once again by California, and goes back over to Slippery Rock. Tipped over the net. California able to get the ball in time. Set by Brickover to California over the net. Kill attempt. Nice slide there by Droneberger to the ball. Marie Petrosevic goes out of bounds on that hit.
Yeah, another just defensive clinic by Mercer, really doing everything she can for the Vulcans, but Anna Marie Petrosevic that time just too far ahead of herself. Got up there in time, but just too much on it.
Serve is up and over dugout by Droneberger. Mercer gets the ball next, and the ball goes freely back over to Slippery Rock. Kill attempt is successful, as no one was getting in the way of that ball with how fast it was going.
Yeah, it seems like whenever you just send a free ball over, a point for the other team is a formality. And that time Selfridge got a running head start from about 10, 15 feet, and just nothing but daylight for her.
Ball is up and off the hands of Droneberger, but Mercer running to get to that ball as the ball is set back in play to Slippery Rock as it goes off the block of California. And that ball goes out of bounds. Point Vulcans.
Yeah, Ali Droneberger needs to to do something for Caroline Mercer after this game. She really saved her on that one that time. Just a bad initial hit off of the serve, and Mercer nearly went into the crowd to save that one. And California able to get the point at the end. Buy your dinner tonight.
Sir, kill attempt is out of bounds. Point Vulcans.
And once again, Selfridge just doing too much, and right in the middle, just got a big swing at it and just sent it out of play.
Dug out there by Slippy Rock, set over Johnson, but they can get to it in time. Off the block there by Slippy Rock, and that is another point for the Rock.
Yeah, great defensive wall that time, and it was Ashlyn Pry who got the big block, and Slippy Rock going back and forth here with California.
Ball served up and over, dug out there by Marie Pacevic to Johnson, and to Johnson with just putting the hammer down right there.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot. They really utilize Johnson rotating to her right, and great set by Favada. Like I said, Johnson really just has that hammer on her with that right hand, just really can bring the boom.
Ball served up and over, dug out there. Set to the middle of the, close side of the court, dug out there by California. Favada sends it to Dronberger. Dronberger tipped over the net. Set to the far side of the court now, and that is inbounds.
Yeah, great hit that time by Danzak, just slicing it. Looked like, once again, it just curves in the air, and everyone for the Vulcans thought it went out of play, but just was able to find that spin and find that placement on that near side line.
Sleepy Rock once again to serve. Ashley dribbles the ball. Serve is up and over, dug out by California. Set to Johnson, and Johnson with a nice point there to tie the game up 10-10.
If only every point was that easy in the game. Just Favada straight up in the air, Johnson straight back down. And even with a couple of defenders in the way, nobody on Slippery Rock is stopping Sophia Johnson when she gets in that space.
Ball is up and over, dug out there by the Rock. Kill attempt going for the back corner, unsuccessful. Favada sets it to Ruggiero, and that just goes off the hands and out of bounds. Point California as they take their first lead of the game.
Yeah, and it's just unlucky from the Rock, but when you're Ruggiero and you can hit the ball as hard as she can, points like that are pretty common. Just a block that goes way too far out of bounds. Ruggiero probably hit that one at 100 miles an hour straight into the Rock wall.
Ball up and over, dug out there by Rock as they into the block, but nothing they can really do about that as it goes off their hands backwards. Tie game once again.
And nice ups that time by Chevalier, able to just find a little bit of space. The California wall has been good so far, but that time able to just crack it.
Up and over, dug out by Linkisfer to Dronberger. Dronberger, high hit. Oh, as they directly serve it back over to California. One hand again as they keep the ball in play. Tipped at the net, dug out there by California, setting to Ruggiero. Ruggiero's ball was dug out there as it goes for out of bounds, and that is a point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, this libero play by the Vulcans has been on point. That time it was Taylor Pascoe just diving one arm, but a couple of one-armed efforts, and you're just, after such a long rally, you're just waiting for somebody to make a mistake, and that time the kill attempt by the Rock was too strong and sent out to play. California with the lead now.
California with the serve. Up and over, dug out there by Slippy Rock. To the close side of the court now. Tipped at the net. That was a really slow set. There could have been called a carry. But there we go, over the net once again. Set to the close side of the court. Tipped and diving effort there by Slippy Rock. And California gets it directly back over. That is another point for your California Vulcans.
And just a defensive masterclass by the Vulcans here in this third set. Mercer from before. Pascoe again, just taking the sting out of these kill attempts and giving California some great chances to get some points. At that time, Dronberger able to just get enough on it to send it home.
Dig there by the libero for Slippy Rock. Block there by Lexi Muck. Point California.
I believe Coach Lokash is going to take a timeout. Somebody in the sports info department needs to fix this. Lexi Muck listed on the roster at 5'4". Absolutely no way, because she got up there and blocked that. Matt Kuiper, if you're watching, you need to fix that. You can take a look at the PSAC West standings, but score update from Clarion. Clarion up 7-0 over California in the football game that just kicked off. But the PSAC West standings here for volleyball. One more time, Gannon, UPJ, Seton Hill, the top three, followed closely by Clarion, Edinburgh, and IUP. And then both teams here, Sleepy Rock, California, round out the PSAC West Conference here in volleyball. And like we mentioned a couple of times before, both teams still looking for that first PSAC West win here on the season. And somebody has to today. Somebody is going to go home a little upset.
Both teams now back out onto the court, as it will be California once again with the serve. Last minute high fives. There's the buzzer. Ball served up and over, set there by Slippery Rock. And the ball goes over. Nice diving effort there, keeping the ball on their side of the court. Looks like she could have stepped underneath the net, but nothing called there. Set to Droneberger as it goes actually directly over, and that is going to be a point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, it was a happy accident for the Vulcans. Pasco tried to set it up for Droneberger on that far side, but just floated over the net, and nobody on Slippery Rock's side touched it. The biggest lead of this set for the Vulcans.
Ball served up and over there. Dug out by Slippery Rock. Set and kill attempt just over the block. Nice diving effort there by Morgan Johnson as the ball goes over to Slippery Rock. Towards the back of the court now. Caitlin Kisfer in that area for that. And Droneberger with a nice kill attempt there off the block and landing on Slippery Rock's side. That is a point, Vulcans.
Yeah, Morgan Johnson that time just beautiful diving effort that time, just floating in midair for so long, just got down, able to dig it out. And once again, with the defensive efforts of the Vulcans, this back row has really done a number for California, and they've been able to facilitate a lot of these points for the Vulcans. They don't have this lead without the great, heroic defensive efforts of a couple of these backline players for California.
Ball up and over, dug out there by Slippery Rock. To the far side now, two players in the area. As Droneberger sends it back over to Slippery Rock. Diving effort there. One hand over the net. Set by Morgan Johnson to Lexi Muck. And that is not going to be a point as they keep it in play as that ball almost goes out of bounds. But California sets the plate instead as Droneberger sends it back over. Set to the far side of the court now. Tipped, but Kay Linkisfer once again in the area. That one blocked, but California ready for it. And the ball is up and over, dug out there. Set. And kill attempt into the hands of the Vulcans. But it looks like Slippery Rock will get the point.
Yeah, once again, just great efforts on the defensive side. That time, Lyndon Felser for the Vulcans, diving all over the place. But when you have that many cracks at it, the Rock are eventually going to get one to fall their way.
Ball's up and over, low dig there by Linkisfer. Kill attempt off the hands of the libero, far into the back of the court, but they able to keep it in play. Droneberger now with the kill attempt. It is off the hands, over the bench. That's a point for the Vulcans.
I think that's the hardest I've ever seen Allie Droneberger hit a ball that time. She smoked that thing, and Chelsea Wheeler in the back for the Rock did everything she could, but that was like a freight train coming right at her.
Droneberger up and over. That is a service ace for Allie Droneberger.
And you take that momentum and you build on it. And Coach Lokash is going to take another timeout of the Vulcans with their biggest lead of the game so far, a 6-point lead, 18-12 going into this timeout.
If you'd like to take a moment to look at the team leaders for the Vulcans, Allie Droneberger is leading within kills. Of course, this is coming into before the game, so these are not up to date as of the third set. Allie Droneberger, leader in kills with 86. Adriana Favada is leading in assists with 199. California not having a lot of luck on service aces as Morgan Johnson is the leader with only 8 this season. Caroline Mercer has 160 digs. Sophia Johnson with 60 blocks, and Sophia Johnson is also the leader in points with 122 points.
And this is game number 4 of the Vulcans' 6-game homestand here between the end of September and the beginning of October. After today's game, they have to wait another week. Next Friday, 6 p.m. game versus IUP. The next Saturday, Senior Day, home versus UPJ here before following a trip to Gannon the following Saturday. Then home to Clarion. Then 3 straight away games at Edinburgh, at Seton Hill, at Slippery Rock. That's 5 away games. Then at UPJ, at IUP, before finishing off their final game here, November 15th, Friday, at home versus Gannon. So enjoy the home games while you have them, because California won't have one for a while after this.
Set to the far side. Kill attempt is out of bounds. Point California.
That was just a misplay that time by Chelsea Wheeler. Had the room, had the space to hit, but just sliced that one wide.
Ball served up and over. Set to the far side. Tipped over the net, but it stays in play. Bump to the far side. Kill attempt unsuccessful as it ends into the block for the Rock. Kill attempt unsuccessful there. Dive effort there. And that one lands on the side of Slippery Rock. There's a point for your California Vulcans.
Like I talked about it earlier, feed the hot hand. Anna Marie Petrosevic had 2 or 3 attempts at it that time. And she will not be denied. Just sends it over time and time again.
Ball up and over, dugout there by Slippery Rock. Set to the middle of the court, tipped over the net. But they're able to keep the ball in play. Set over. Set to the close side of the court, excuse me. Set to the far side now for Marie Petrovic. Set once again to the close side of the court. Nice effort there by the libero to keep the ball in play as it goes directly back over as they're sending it to the close side of the court. Diving effort there by California, and that is going to be a point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, somebody's got to get a gift or something for these liberos for the Vulcans. Another great diving play by Taylor Pascoe to keep it up. And Elizabeth Patina just got enough on it to force the error from Slippery Rock and California point.
Set to the far side of the court, and that ball lands on the side of California off their block. That is a point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, Slippery Rock needed that to end this Vulcan run. If you're Slippery Rock, you need to start worrying now. You need to start cleaning it up here and going on a run.
Ball up and over, and that is a service ace for Slippery Rock.
Anna Marie Petrosevic and Taylor Pascoe just didn't call each other off, both occupying the same space, and both weren't ready for it that time, and ends up as an ace for the Rock.
Ball up and over. Awkward little serve there. She hesitated, but nevertheless it goes over, and that is another point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, Lexi Muck in the middle, Johnson straight up in the air, and Muck, who's usually on the outside, switching to the inside that time and just laying the hammer down.
Ball up and over, dugout there by Slippery Rock. Ooh, looked like a little bit of contact with the face there. Ball is a little bit of bumping around there. Slippery Rock gets another point.
Yeah, just players running into each other. That time Mercer and Johnson ran into each other, and the ball ended up right where Morgan Johnson would theoretically have been, but just out of place that time. And after the scramble, the Rock claimed the point.
Ball served up and over, dugout by Dronberger. Set to Johnson. They're now setting it to the close side of the court. Kill attempt going for the libero. Setting to the close side of the court for the Vulcans as it is tipped at the net but stays in play as they go directly in the middle of the court, and that is a Slippery Rock point.
Yeah, that time the wall by California just wasn't able to get in position in time. Coach Emmerich is going to take a timeout. Comfortable 6-point lead here for California going into this timeout, and hopefully after a couple of points in a row for the Rock, you can kind of stifle that momentum with this timeout.
California really needing to close out these last 3 points that they need. Slippery Rock needing to come back within 11, so California definitely thinking in their head that they've got this one on lock. going to force a fourth set.
And if you're the Vulcans, all you need is one. One set is all you need to just springboard them, springboard that mental, because when you're down after the sweep yesterday, it can be hard. You can sit there and think man, I don't know what we're doing. It's real hard. When you're losing a decent bit, it's hard to have that positive mindset. But once you see, it's like when you're shooting basketball, you miss a couple of shots. All you need is one shot to go in that can kind of just reset you mentally. And if you're California, you're going to need that if you want to win this game. All you need is one set, and you can continue to move on, take it one set at a time, and hopefully reverse sweep this thing.
Slippery Rock now with the serve. Up and over. Dug out by California. Libero bumps it over to Marie Pachevic. The ball almost out of bounds, but the Rock decides to play it. Tipped over. Marie Pachevic sends it back over the same area once again with the Libero. Will bump it high into the air, and that one will go into the net. That'll be a point, Vulcans.
Yeah, Kaylee Chevalier took 2 bullets straight from Anna Marie Petrosevic in the back row. Did a great job of keeping up both times, but like I said, once you keep this unrelenting attack from the Vulcans, if you keep sending it over, you're bound to force some sort of mistake. In California on the precipice of taking the set.
Set to the far side of the court. That kill attempt unsuccessful there as California will bump it to Marie Pachevic once again. Tipped at the net. But there will be an attack from the outside. That is successful. Point Slippery Rock.
Yeah, we haven't heard Erica Selfridge's name in a bit, but great job that time. Just too strong, too powerful. Giving the Rock a chance here.
Up and over, dugout there by Marie Pachevic. Setting to Lisa Ruggiero. Setting once again to Libero. Bumps it to the close side of the court. Set to Johnson. Johnson with the kill attempt, which was unsuccessful. But there was an error there. Looked like California will get the point.
It will be a Vulcan point, some sort of violation in and around the net, but California will take it. Now they're on set point here.
California looking to force the fourth set here. Low dig there. Set. Kill attempt into the block, but California side has it once again. Is it a free ball right back over to Slippery Rock? Setting it and kill attempt coming. And that is going to be a point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, I applaud Lyndon Felser for trying to save that, but that was a foregone conclusion. Pry set up right in the middle and had a wide open space to land that kill attempt. The Vulcans still on set point.
Ball served up and over. That is a service ace for the Rock.
Yeah, Kate Lehandro Beery that time, it looked like she knuckled it a little bit. Mercer caught off guard, just not on her toes, and that one landing right in front of her.
Ball served up and over, and that is not going to be an ace as Dromberger sends it back over. Low dig there, setting to the close side of the court at the net. And that is going to be back over towards Slippery Rock. Set to the middle, and that is a point, Slippery Rock.
Yeah, great efforts by Favado, but once again, we've seen it time and time again this set when you're scrambling on the defensive side, just doing everything you can to get it over. Somebody's out of position, and that time Vonderhaar was able to just find that place where Favado wasn't.
Ball up and over, dugout there. And kill attempt by Johnson, blocked. That is another point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, Vonderhaar in the middle, able to get a piece of it. And now we got a game here. The Vulcans were up by about 6, but a couple points in the row, making it scary here. Slippery Rock not going quietly.
No, not at all. California only needs one more point to put this away. But Slippery Rock, on the run they've been on, has a chance to sweep the Vulcans here.
Yeah, if you're California, you're getting a little bit nervous. You don't want to lose this set, but that would mean you'd have to drop 5 more points in a row. If you're California, you just go back to what you've done all set so far. They've played extremely well, but the last couple of minutes here, you're letting Slippery Rock back in and just deny them that opportunity and just get back out there and play your game.
the Rock looking to go on a run here. Let's see if they can do it or if California can defend for 1 point. Slippery Rock now back to serve. Ball up and over. Dug there towards the net. Ruggiero sending it back over. Diving effort there, but they keep the ball in the air over the net and right out of bounds. That is a point. Slippery Rock.
Yeah, some great defensive plays, but that's a big momentum shift here for the Rock. Great diving play by Lehendo Beery, the libero for the Rock, and Slippery Rock not going away yet.
Set by Favada to Droneberger. Droneberger was blocked. A lot of hits there, but they keep it over the net. Set and tipped over, and that is another point for Slippery Rock.
They have, in college football, it's +5. It's the max meter in the stadium.
Stadium pulse going
Stadium
crazy.
pulse at max level here for the California. They don't have a timeout, so they can't even stop this momentum from the Rock. Slippery Rock just rolling along here.
Set to Droneberger. Droneberger, unsuccessful kill attempt there. Set to the close side of the court now. Blocked, but they keep it in play. Sliding under the net, but they send it back over to California. Set to Droneberger. Droneberger off the arms, and that is going to be California taking the third set.
Yeah, just a big dagger by Droneberger, just slamming that one home. Exclamation point finish.
We'll be right back here on CETV Sports 1 and the PSA Sports Network.
More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in the league's 23 championship sports. 17 member campuses, educating more than 110,000 students, with an alumni base that tops the 1 million mark. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference making the PSAC proud.
Vulcan football is back and ready to take on the best the PSAC has to offer this fall. After road games at Charleston, Westchester, and Lock Haven, the Vulcans return to Adamson Stadium for the home opener on September 28th. Save the date for October 19th and homecoming versus Slippery Rock. The Coal Bowl comes to Adamson Stadium on October 26th versus IUP. The home schedule concludes with back-to-back games on November 9th versus Edinburgh and Senior Day November 16th versus Shippensburg. For up-to-date information on the Vulcans, follow Cal Vulcans on social media or go to calvulcans.com. For live games and highlights, go to CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube or the PSAC Digital Network.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.
Hello and welcome back to the Convocation Center as we just saw a nail biter right there coming down to the last couple of points as California takes the third set. So that means we got some more volleyball to watch.
Yeah, fourth set, and even though it was a bit nerve-wracking there at the end, California able to hold on and finish off that third set and send us to set number 4. And like we mentioned earlier, one set's all you need, and if you're California, you'll take it and come back out here, try to replicate what you did for much of that third set, where they were in dominant control of that third set for much of it. It was really only that last little bit where Slippery Rock started to creep back, and they crept back, and they crept back, and then all of a sudden the game's almost tied, but California able to just fend them off, hold on, and win that third set.
Indeed. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to Gary Smith. We love Gary Smith. I was just a little mean to Gary Smith, so. But he was mean to me first, so it's okay. He can go away. No.
Well, they say retaliation is childish, Michael.
Oh, and here comes Gary Smith to my live stream. That's yep, that's Gary Smith. If you're watching, which nobody is, because they're all on CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube. That's where they're all watching from. That's where the real game is.
Yeah, make sure to check it out. Follow us on social media as well as CUTV PA, _PA. I'm not really sure which ones.
Follow both of them. Follow both of them.
Just look on Instagram and Twitter and you'll find it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's there. Both teams switch sides, rock.
Or you can just search for me.
Yeah, look up JJ Robinson. Look up John Sabe. Follow them both on all social media as well. Shout out Arsenal for getting a big win today, too.
Dig there by California. And that is just completely denied at the net. First point going to Slippery Rock.
Yeah, that was a disgusting block by Ashlyn Pry. That's something that you see in a basketball game, just to deny or rim stuff for that time.
Served by Slippery Rock is up and over. Dig towards the net, and that is directly down. Favada directly underneath it, but cannot get to it in time.
And going from the flashy point by Pry to about the most anticlimactic point you can get is the ball just floating straight to Pry and off of the miss hit off the serve by Anna Marie Petrosevic.
Ball served up and tipped by the net, but it goes over. Johnson with the kill attempt. That is going to be a California point as it was tipped by Slippery Rock.
Yeah, and we see Johnson just getting all that momentum when she is moving towards her right, just able to get that in-swinger towards the middle of the court, just takes a tip on the way through. The Vulcans on the board here in set 4.
Ball up and over dugout there. Set to the far side of the court now, and the kill attempt unsuccessful as the libero for California able to keep it in play, and that's going to be a point by Droneberger.
Yeah, great execution that time. Pravada with the set. And great placement that time by Droneberger, splitting the back row defenders from the rock.
Ball served up and over dugout there by Slippery Rock, setting to the far side of the court now and tipped at the net, and that's going to be off the hands. Excuse me, it's tipped by the net, which means that is a point California.
Yeah, the Vulcans kind of luck out a little bit there. The wall that time letting that one through, but like you said, off of the net and out of play for the Vulcan point.
Up and over dugout there by Slippery Rock, setting to the close side of the court, and that block is just on the side of California. Point Slippery Rock.
Yeah, just a little bit too much separation from Droneberger and Johnson there at the net. Just Johnson got a piece on it, but was just too far away from the net to send that one back over. Up
and over dugout there, setting to the far side of the court, tipped, but goes over. Set to the far side of the court now, tipped by the net. Favada sends it over to Droneberger. Droneberger blocked, but Favada setting it over to Ruggiero. Ruggiero gets blocked as well. Setting to Droneberger once again and high over this time, so there's no chance of block. And that lands on the side of California, point Slippery Rock.
Yeah, just block after block after block, but that time Cavalier deciding that she's going to just not get denied and got enough on it. Was able to just hit that one off of Johnson and in play.
Ball up and over dugout there. Set to the middle close side of the court as it goes out of bounds. California point.
Yeah, that time just great attacking play. The Rock with some decent defensive effort, just trying to keep it up, but he said that one just a miss hit out of bounds.
Ball served up and over, set there by the libero. Kill attempt coming from the far side. Johnson going for the one-arm hit, but it does go out of bounds. Point at Slippery Rock.
And after that serve, we've seen Johnson a couple times left alone in that back row, and again, it's not really something that she's asked to do a whole lot, so ranging to her right, just trying to dive for it. Not really the game that you want Sophia Johnson to be playing. You want her in and around the net, not trying to dig out balls in the back row.
Ball served into the net, free point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, that's the first time in a bit we've seen a bad serve from Slippery Rock. In the last couple of sets, they've really cleaned it up, but if you're California, you'll take these points any way you can get them.
Couple substitutions, Zaliza Ruggiero coming out of the game along with Ariana Favada as Lexi Muck goes into the game, as well as Elizabeth Plino.
Great serve by Morgan Johnson, another ace for the Vulcans in this game.
Morgan Johnson once again back for the serve. Ball served up and over, dugout there. Into the bench. That is going to be a California point.
And another ace for Johnson. And Selfridge did what she could and nearly wiped out into the Slippery Rock bench.
Morgan Johnson once again for the serve. Ball up and over, dugout there by Slippery Rock as it goes to that far side and just completely denied. And that is going to be another point for California.
Another self-inflicted wound as that time Jaden Yost tried to set but missed the ball entirely. And Coach Lokash and the Rock are going to take a timeout.
Both these teams doing a lot of good. Of course, Slippery Rock having that one error, sending the ball back over to California as it went into the net, which gave California a little bit of momentum there. California leading 8-5 in this fourth set, trying to force a fifth set.
And if you're California, you can't let this timeout kind of just like cool off the flames. You got to stay hot, come out of this timeout ready to rock and continue to pound Slippery Rock on the offensive side. If you're Slippery Rock, you're hopefully it's kind of like icing the kicker a little bit in football. Just hopefully it can kind of stop the momentum and have it swing back in your favor. Both teams breaking towards the court once again.
Both teams coming back onto the court at relatively the same time. As will be, once again, Morgan Johnson back for the serve.
Like you mentioned earlier, leading this team in aces coming into today's game, and 2 in this set alone here for Morgan Johnson.
Ball up and over, dugout there. Set and kill attempt unsuccessful, completely denied by Lexi Muck as it goes back over towards the Vulcans. Set by Morgan Johnson to Allie Dronberger off the hands of the back row, and that is going to be another point for California.
Yeah, that all started with a great block at the net by Muck, and the Rock were able to get it over. There was a tip at the net that took the sting out of it, and Dronberger with a full charge right at the ball, and there's nothing Selfridge could do about it.
Ball up and over, dugout there by Slippery Rock, sending it into the net, and that's going to be another point for your California Vulcans, now up 5 over the Rock.
Dronberger that time got a piece of it. Her and Muck at the net. The last 2 rallies here really doing it all on the defensive side. That time Dronberger with a big block.
Ball up and over, dugout there. Set to the close side of the court there, and that is going to be a point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, great play by Dan Zach, just slicing that past the wall of California and able to place it beautifully on this near side, just tapping on the line.
Ball served is up and into the net. That is going to be another free point for the Vulcans.
I was thinking about that one tweet from Ninja from a few years ago when he said, "How do NFL kickers just miss?" And now I'm thinking, like, how do servers just send it right into the net? Slippery Rock not doing themselves any favors here in this set, giving a couple of free points right over to Cal.
Ball goes up and over there. Dug out by Slippery Rock, sending it back over. Dronberger in the right place. Gets a high into the air. And it's going to be Marie Petrovic going over the block. Sending it back over to California there. Morgan Johnson in the way of the ball. As Marie Petrovic gets a second chance, but again, unsuccessful kill attempt. Now to the far side over Lexi Muck. Dronberger gets it once again back to her team as Petrovic, third time is the charm, and she gets the point there.
You said it. If you give her multiple cracks at it, she's going to find home. She's going to send it home on one of them. And that time, the third one took an awkward deflection off of a Rock player. California with a 6-point lead.
Set and kill attempt is in the back of the court. Point for Slippery Rock.
And we've seen that a few times off of the Vulcan serves where that back row just doesn't get in position in time, and it's an easy point for Vanderhart right in the middle where you send it up for her, and then she just has acres of space to aim for in the back row.
Ball goes up and over, dugout there, and that is going to be another point for your California Vulcans.
Yeah, it's an ace for the Rock as Pasco just
Rock
completely whiffed on it, hit right to her, and just a bad hit all around. Ace for Slippery Rock.
Ball up and over really far. Can Drumberger get to it? No, she cannot. Another point for Slippery Rock.
I mean, you got to love the effort, but back-to-back aces for Cara Pasquale. And there in the back for Slippery Rock. Just Taylor Pascoe, 2 miss hits in a row off of the serves from Pascal.
Ball up and over dugout there. Set and tipped right back towards California. Slippery Rock now only down 2 points.
That time Vanderhaar just floating in the air for a while. Mock tried to just tip it over her at the net, but Vanderhaar just able to keep that hand up long enough just to block it back.
Up and over into the net, and that's another point for the California Vulcans.
And I guess that's the trade-off if you're going to get a couple of aces in a row.
You got to give up one eventually.
You got to send one right into the net.
Like a deal with the devil.
You can't have it all.
Ball up and over dugout there by Slippery Rock, sending it back over to California. Dromberger off the higher part of her arms as it gets back over out of bounds. Another point for Slippery Rock.
I mean, that time Dromberger took that one. It looked like it was just off the chest. It wasn't even off the arms, and miscue by the Vulcans. And Slippery Rock still very much in this game.
Dugout by Dromberger, setting it to Marie Petrovic, but it is back over to California now, high over the block. High dig there. Once again, give her another chance, but it looks like that will be another point for Slippery Rock.
It's just so unlucky for the Vulcans. The block takes a hit off of the net, and the way the ball was spinning, I thought it was going to go out of play. Just finds the line on the far side, and another point for the Rock.
Ball over low dig by Dromberger, setting it and somehow getting it back over as Marie. And that's going to be another point for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, Coach Hemrick's going to take a timeout, and they need it. The Vulcans were up by 7 at one point, and the Rock have come firing back and tying things up at 13.
Slippery Rock really been dominant when they go on these runs. California, they'll have a nice little start for a little bit, but then Slippery Rock just crawling back into everything. You even saw that within the last set at the last couple points of the set. California had at least 6 or 7 points, and then Slippery Rock just came back within just 2 points.
Yeah, it's just when the Rock are hot, they're hot, and right now you got to hope that this timeout cools them off because they've just been on a tear. It seems like everything they've been doing, besides serving the ball into the net, everything else has been great. They've had some decent serves outside of that, but great defensive blocks in and around the net, forcing California to readjust, to scramble, to make mistakes. And whenever the Rock have been able to get a clean offensive attack going, they've been able to capitalize on it, just finding these back corners, finding these pockets of space where nobody on the Vulcan side is. And they've just been able to execute perfectly. And down by 6, now things are all tied up.
Slippery Rock now with the serve. Goes up and over, dugout by Dromberger. Marie Petrovic gets it into a block, and she gets a second chance, and that is a point once again for Marie Petrovic.
Yeah, that time the Vulcan back line supported Anna Marie Petrovic. As the block came in, they were right there behind her to clean up in case the block got sent back. And once again, if you give her a couple of chances at it, she's going to connect on one of them.
Favada and Ruggiero subbed into the game for California just now. Setting to the far side, and that is going to be a point for Slippery Rock once again.
Yeah, that time Mercer playing a little bit further back, so can't quite support the wall for the Vulcans in the same way. And that time Ruggiero and Johnson just couldn't get enough on the block attempt, and things all tied again.
Ball served up and over, dug right over the net, and that is going to be out of bounds. Another point for Slippery Rock as they take a lead.
I think it's another ace. And that time, Dromberger, another miss hit, and looks like they're going to make a swap. Dromberger's going to come to the near side. Anna Marie Petrosevic's going to go to the far side to deal with the serve.
Dug out there by Frchevic. Johnson off the block, but stays in bounds. Set over the net. Favada bumps it into the air, and Frchevic for another kill attempt as she has to get her own little rebound there, it looked like, and she gets a second chance, and that is going to be a point. She really needs a 1-2 to get those points over. She'll get blocked on the first one, the second or third one. She's getting the point no matter what.
You know, what's the saying? If at first you don't succeed, try again. Try again, and she's doing that. She gets the block. She hits it back up in the air, and she's doing it all here for California, really taking the offensive burden.
And there we go. There's a point for the Vulcans as that ball goes into the antenna. Can't do that.
Surprisingly.
Lucas first sends the ball back over to Slippery Rock, setting it to the middle of the court by Sophia Johnson with a nice block there.
Yeah, emphatic block by Johnson. Just able to get up there in time. 2 big hands on it and just sends it back. And that's the kind of play that really gives your team some momentum.
Ball up and over dugout there. Setting up to the far side of the court. Tipped at the net, but that goes out of bounds off the hands of California. Slippery Rock with another point.
Yeah, Ruggiero and Johnson that time. The wall a bit angled towards the out-of-bounds line, so need to be more disciplined. Need to get in there straight up and down, and that time the angled wall really bit him as that one got sent out of play.
Ball up and over. Set up to Favada to Ruggiero. Setting now to the far close side of the court. At the net, it was blocked by California as they have to dig it out with the libero. Sending it over to Dromberger once again towards the backcourt, and that is a point, Vulcans.
Dromberger's been on fire with these kill attempts. It's been a long time since we've seen Dromberger just hitting him like she has in this game. Just really beautiful execution, super hard, and great placement, just splitting that back row from the rock. And Summer Lux comes in to serve here for the Vulcans.
After her little CPR celebration on the bench, but the ball is up and over nevertheless. Sending it to the close side of the court. Blocked by Dromberger and Muck.
Yeah, Dromberger has been on an absolute tear in this set. Just both sides of the court doing phenomenally, and glad to see Summer Lux is alive and well.
Look out there. Set to the close side of the court towards Summer Lux this time, but it goes out of bounds. Point, Vulcans.
Maybe one of the only times in your life where being short really works out. Summer Lux standing at 5'2". That ball was hit straight at her, and she just gets out of the way of it and lets that one fall out of bounds. California up by 4 here toward the end of this 4th set.
Shout out to all the short kings and queens out there, especially if you're a volleyball player. Shout out Summer Lux. Shout out John Sape.
I'm short king myself.
Shout out Nate Kurtz.
Shout out Nate Kurtz.
Gary Smith. All the short kings and queens here in the Convocation Center today, which actually it looks like there's a lot of basketball players here, so there's not a lot of them here, but shout out all of them.
Yeah, but Lux, like I said, only 5'2", so that kill attempt right at her, she didn't really have to duck that much to get out of the way, and great heads-up awareness by the freshman from Warren, Pennsylvania, just to get out of the way. And
it looked like she was part of the Matrix, the way she just bent backwards there.
And looking like Neo out there, just dodging and weaving out of the way.
Summer Lux on a little bit of a roll here. Let's see if she can continue it here with these serves. Ball up and over, dugout there. Set to the middle of the court, and no one in the area. California gives up a point to the Rock.
At that time, Muck tried to go at it alone with the block, but nobody in support, and Chevalier there for the Rock. Able to connect on a big hit and be able to keep Slippery Rock in this game.
Ball's up and over, dugout there by California, setting it to Ruggiero. Ruggiero gets the kill attempt unsuccessful, though. Dugout there by California, setting it to Ruggiero once again. Off the arms of the libero for Slippery Rock. Tipped at the net, but the libero for California also able to get to it. Esfalada sends it directly back over. It's going to be a kill attempt from the outside, and that's going to be a point, Slippery Rock.
How I mentioned the libero play from the Vulcans earlier on, Slippery Rock needs to give Kate Kate Lehandra Beery, her flowers, she did excellently there. A couple of diving efforts just to keep it up. And that point doesn't happen without her. Great play by her. Now she has the serve.
Set to the close out of the court. Droneberger kill attempt unsuccessful as it goes directly back over to California. And there was a violation. Point California.
Yeah, the referee on the chair here put up a 2. So I think it's a double hit by, I believe it was Chevalier that time for the Rock with the infraction. And like we mentioned, sometimes it isn't pretty, but these teams at this point will take points any way they can get them.
Ball served up and over, dugout there by Slippery Rock, setting it to the far side of the court. Sliding effort there by Drumberger to able to keep the ball in play. Going towards the middle, towards the libero once again. Kill attempt successful this time by Slippery Rock.
Yeah, great kill that time by Vonderhaar. Just great placement. Gets up super early, is able to meet it at the ball at its apex and able to send it back.
Ball served up and out of bounds. Point Vulcans.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody on the Vulcan bench gave Lyndon Filster the shout to step out of the way and just looked like she was about to hit it, but at the last second got out of the way and let that one smartly go out of bounds.
Ali Droneberger now back for the serve for the Vulcans. California needs 3 points before Slippery Rock needs 6. Let's see if they can make it happen. Ball up and over, dug out by Libero. Set to the middle of the court, tipped by Lexi Muck back over towards Slippery Rock. Diving effort by Droneberger, setting it now to Marie Petrovic as that is completely denied. Points, Slippery Rock.
Yeah, we've seen her get blocked at the net a couple of times, but usually there was a Vulcan there in support. But that time, since her kill attempt was so far back from the net, nobody was able to fill that void in around the net. Great block by Vonderhaar again, and Slippery Rock not going away.
Ball is up and over, dugout there. Kill attempt unsuccessful by Marie Petrovic as they send it back over to California. Dugout by Libero for California, setting it to Marie Petrovic once again, and that just not a hard enough hit there as Slippery Rock gets another point.
Yeah, she tried to alter up because we've seen her just beat the heck out of the ball on these kill attempts, but just tried to lay it up and over, but that time just mishit it, not enough on it.
Ball up and over, and that goes out of bounds. Game's all tied up here in the Convocation Center in the fourth set.
And this is how the last set ended, but the Vulcans were on set point. The Rock came storming back, but the Rock in prime position to take this set here if Pascal and her serves are still on the mark like they have been.
Ball goes up and over, dugout by the libero for California. And California giving up the lead to Slippery Rock. Slippery Rock needing 2 more points to set this game away.
Yeah, Kara Pascal in this game has had about 5 aces, all coming towards the end of these sets. And like you said, California was up by 3 or 4 a couple of moments ago. Now they're down by 1.
Ball up and over, dugout by Droneberger. California scrambling a little bit. Marie Petrovic sends it back over to Slippery Rock. Staying it to the close side of the court. Block attempt unsuccessful. Slippery Rock now on game points. Timeout taken by the Vulcans.
Yeah, California just looking a little bit defeated. Slippery Rock has all of the momentum in the world and then some. And they've just been on a roll. California having the chance to maybe send this to a 5th set. Now have their backs up against the wall.
California, they just need to go on a roll here if they want a chance to force a 5th set, which is, I know, that's exactly what they want right here. Slippery Rock set game point, so they really need to just lock in for 1 more point. California need to defend that 1 point. Let's see what happens here in the last final moments of this 4th set.
And again, we talked earlier on in this game how Slippery Rock was really having a ton of unforced errors and giving the Vulcans 3 points. And we've seen it kind of flip on its head here in this last couple of moments here in this set where the Vulcans have really just not been able to deal with these serves and have just given the lead back to the Rock.
Ball served up and over, dugout there, and that is going to be the game. Slippery Rock will win 25-22 in the fourth set. Slippery Rock will take the first win of their conference so far this season. California will drop to 0-4 in conference.
Yeah, 3 straight aces for Pascal to close things off, and it's been a heck of a game here in the Convocation Center.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining me and John Sape here and all our crew here today. See you next time here on TV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network.